shouldn't change all that much. We just should be a little bit slower.
Hello and welcome everyone to the OVRC. Welcome to... I forgot the round number. Welcome back to the GT4 Series. Today we are at Paul Ricard for round 3. You just joined us at the end of practice. I'm joined once again by Owen.
Hello everyone.
And as we are getting towards the end of, well, last few laps of practice, I want to run over quickly over the current standings.
Yeah, so currently leading the Drivers' Championship with 180 points is Mike Stoffmill. And in second we have Jordan Grant-Smith with 120 points. Close behind with 112 points is Ryan Mawson. And in fourth we have John Dalton with 104 points. And in fifth we have Anton Kvalainen with 90 points. And the Teams Championship leading is Virtual Tires by TX3, which is just Mike Stoffmill, with 180 points again. Then we have GS Racing with 120 points. I think that's just Jordan Grant-Smith. So we have Flying Husky Motorsports, also just Ryan Mawson with 112 points. So the top 3 team standings are just, actually the top 4 are just the driver standings, because either they don't have a teammate or their teammate hasn't scored any points yet, as is the case for WNT Motorsports in fourth, as Mark Whitford has yet to score any points so far, but John Dalton has already scored 104, so they're fourth in the Teams Championship. And then in fifth is Baguette Box Racing with 97 points, so that's Robert Nygaard and Sebastian Brunier. And if you want to see the full standings, you can do so at the link in the description.
Thanks for that. So, qualifying has begun. I believe the first person out on track is Mike Stoffmill. He's got a clear track ahead of him, obviously on his outlap right now. Currently, there are 19 cars in the session. May see a few more joining midway through. So yeah, we're at Paul Ricard this time around. Circuit I think we raced before that, but it's not a very commonly used circuit, mostly just because it's a bit unpopular. But we're having a go at it today, so we're using the 1A V2 layout. Because there's many layouts of Paul Ricard. As Mike Stoffmill will now soon start his first time lap. So through the final hairpin, you go down the long start-finish straight. And there's quite a common theme here of long start straights, as you then brake about the 100-meter board into a left-hander. While by quick right, it's the same layout the F1 uses. Use a bit of the exit curve there, and then you, again, a flat out for the next part. As you now head into a 90 right. On the brakes again. Avoid cutting too much. And there's a very tricky section here. There's a very slow right-hander right towards the end of the section. You roll the car out. You've got a long sweeper here. Then another quick flick to the left. And you're on the back straight, the Mistral straight. Here's one of the longest straights. Generally in racing. I think the only longest is probably something like Le Mans. Yeah, a very long straight right now. It does dip a tiny bit before proceeding to go up. So make sure the car's balanced here as you tap on the brakes a bit, get the car nose in for a very fast corner. Double apex here as you roll up wide the first part, get the car around and head towards the next apex. Towards the final sector of the track. And there was a tricky technical part of the circuit up ahead. Got now 2 more corners to go, including the final hairpin. Right, so we're now back on the start finish straight and we'll cross the line. And we'll go P1 with a time of 2:04.0850.
So far we have Jensen in second, Ryan Softmill, and then in third is Mark Whitford. Quite large gaps between the times we have so far, as Marcus Lawrence just slots into third.
Track right now. So kind of
Yep, Dendo just crossing the line moves into seventh. Mark Webb comes around the final corner. And seems like he's got his lap invalidated. Or he was just on an outlap, but I don't think that was the case.
I think a few people got their first laps invalidated. The people, a lot of people have their last lap time, but have not actually got a time on the board.
James Butler just went into 8th position. Brian Mawson coming towards the end of his lap, as is Christopher Strappen and Thomas Olsen. A few people about to cross the line. And yeah, a lot of these people looks like they're either on outlaps or invalidated.
Robert Nygaard will cross the line. Puts himself into P7 with 2:05.445. So groups are packed to cars. It's probably quite important to actually have a bit of slipstream on your qualifying lap. Due to how long the back straight is, a couple of clicks extra will help you gain some time. Obviously, require you don't get blocked by the other car for the technical parts, or you don't muck up yourself, but will probably help the lap times quite a bit. So Mawson currently behind one of the BMWs. Just want to get a bit of a tow from them.
And Jordan Grant Smith is still on, hasn't set a timed lap yet, but seems to be well on his way now. Performing quite well in the other races, so it'll be interesting to see where he can put himself in this qualifying. As he is about to cross the line, and he moves into 4th.
Thomas Jansen's currently improving his lap time as he's ahead of the pack. We're watching the screen right now. Orson's going for the final hairpin now as well. It's P6 with a 2:04.7. One person who's yet to set a time, actually be out on track at all. Everyone else has done a lap, but hasn't actually set a proper time yet. Also, Marcus Lawrence.
Victor Berlin is just spinning up his wheels in the pit lane. Not sure what he's trying to achieve with that.
Advanced tire warming strategy. Butler currently improving by a second right now after sort of a troubling GT3 race last week. Hopefully.
Yeah, Valentin Molliet is about to set his first time lap hopefully, and he does. He moves into P12. So we have 3 drivers who have not yet set a time. Those are Mark Webb, Jordan Wansink, and Victor Berlin. Victor Berlin is still in the pits. Wansink is still lapping out there. I think he has done a few laps, but they've all got invalidated.
It doesn't seem quite easy around here to invalidate your lap. Obviously, there's no natural border of the track. It's all sort of tarmac. As well, the track will have grass or gravel or a curb or something to clearly define the track limits. It's not so clear around here.
Yeah. We got a few people out on track right now, but we're not seeing a lot of improvements. Valentin Molliet is improving right now. Mark Whitford also just started a new lap and is improving. Christoph Mill may be improving ever so slightly, but he doesn't seem to really be gaining on Thomas Jansen. Mill just lost a bunch of time. So he's not improving on this lap. Whitford improving slightly. Molly about to cross the line with an improvement. Or maybe not, because he's got his lap invalidated. Yes, Jordan Wansink finally managed to qualify in 11th.
Two cars yet to set a valid time. Again, Victor Berlin still not out on track yet.
Yeah, he's just been in the pit lane. I'm guessing he's got some kind of technical issue if he's been sitting in the pit lane for that long. And when he did try to get out of the pit lane, all he seemed to really do is spin up his rear tires. So yeah, I think possibly a technical issue for him.
A few improvements in the top end.
So Mike is off the track and has returned to the pit lane. Mark Whitford and Marcus Lawrence are improving. Jordan Wansink improving as well.
Thomas Jansen goes very wide at the end straight. We're just seeing that people are struggling to really improve their times.
Yeah, well, Jensen is improving slightly, but yeah, I just saw on my stream, I just saw him go off the track, so I think that might have invalidated his lap. But we don't really know for sure. He's still out there, and oh, he's getting into traffic. One of the Aston Martins.
Yeah, he's lost a bunch of time there, so not going to be improvement this time around. Yeah, despite the fact it's not wet, people are struggling to set times. And Joe also goes wide at the end of the straight, so here carrying a bit too much speed, it seems. And losing out as Mark Whitford also goes wide into the corner and stops his lap.
So about 4 minutes left now, so people can still start a new timed lap. Fountain Molliet improving by half second on his delta right now, although he seems to be losing some of that possibly. Yeah, 3/10 now. So he's about to cross the line. Let's see if he actually gets a valid lap in. And he doesn't. What a surprise.
Really invalidates his lap. A few more people are invalidating the lap times right now, trying to improve their position. I think oddly this qualifying won't be much won't really show much people's absolute pace compared to when the race starts, because of the nature of how the race will probably turn out due to a long straight and slipstream battles.
Jensen about to cross the line again. Let's see what he can do. And he extends his gap by another 0.3 of a second, so he's 0.6 ahead of Mike Stoffmill now. Jordan Grant-Smith improving right now. Molliet improving again, but he'll have to not go off track too much if he wants to really make that improvement count. Let's see what Jordan can do as he is heading around the final corner. Very nice improvement on his delta right now. Let's see if he managed to stay on track throughout that lap. And he did. So he moves up to P3.
Mark Whitford, otherwise improving, proceeds to skip some parts of the track. 5 seconds up on its fastest. It's going to be an valid time, as we've got 1 minute left in the session, so not long.
Yeah. So that is interesting that it's saying Mark is 5 seconds up. Maybe he cut the track somewhere to try and get another lap in, because he's not got a lot of time now. Mike Stoffmill on his last timed lap now. He is improving, but not by much. So it doesn't look like he's really going to be able to close the gap on Tom Jensen in this qualifying. But we'll have to see, of course, what he can do in the final sector. We don't really know where he's fallen behind right now. And oh, he's abandoned his lap. So there will be no improvements from Mike Stoffmill. As Mark Whitford, I think, has just about managed to get another lap in. Oh no, he isn't. He is parking it on the side of the track. The max wait time would also be an issue for him. Just wasn't enough time. So yeah, that's it for qualifying.
Thomas Jansen takes pole, followed by Max Stoffmill, Jordan Grant-Smith, Mark Whitford, Marcus Lawrence, John Dalton, Thomas Olsen, Ryan Mawson, Christopher Verstappen, and Robert Nygaard are your top 10. And yeah, I don't think it's going to be representative of the race, honestly. I think too many people got laps invalidated for it to. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a bit of a messy qualifying in terms of people staying within the lines.
So I think there's a very late joiner. I mean, it's Victor Berlin's disconnected. As the race will begin, it's a bit cloudier than the last time out, but
yeah, so there's a 16-degree track temp right now. However, it's still clear weather with no other predictions for the next 30 minutes. But it looks like the weather is just going to stay as it is right now. Right, so everyone just lining up on the grid.
Yep, I don't think it's going to be about 1 minute until the cars start rolling.
So, I guess predictions time. What you got?
There's the safe pick, as always, which is Mike Stoffmill. But I think Jansen, if you keep a car straight, has got a good chance. Does seem to be fairly quick around here. Obviously, again, the actual race might be different due to the slipstream already going on. But if you can keep the pace up, you should have a good chance.
Yeah, he was 6/10 faster than Stoffmill in qualifying, so he's definitely got the pace as far as qualifying goes. Let's see if he can do that consistently in the race.
Yep. It does seem to be the... I don't know what sort of track state it is, but it does seem to be a bit colder than qualifying. But no.
Yeah, the track state is optimum, and it's just a few degrees colder than qualifying.
So 10 seconds till the cars get rolling. As everyone's got the lights on, which is probably suggested due to the weather conditions.
So we just got a report from Victor Berlin on why he had to retire from the race. It's because of brake issues. So he's really not happy with an attack right now.
Yeah, that's always the issue with them. Is manual DIY stuff, upgrades for Fanatec stuff is always a bit risky, I found. I upgraded my V2 rim with the magnetic shifters on them, and it feels like a lot of stuff could go wrong there. The worst one has been obviously putting magnetic shifters onto my regular GT rim, because all the rubber washers for the cables that come out the hub are all like just broken at this point. Yeah, it's not always the best experience. We just ended any Fanatec sponsorship we could have had then. All gone.
I don't think we'll ever get sponsored anyway.
Yeah, no, it comes with it, you know, maybe in like 20 years. The last sim racing league available. So only 18 cars currently in track, 2 in the pit lane.
Yeah, Molliot and McRae are both in the pit lane. That is strange.
If you want to see the qualifying starting order, it's on your screen now. In case you want to see where any of your favourite drivers are currently in the grid. Yeah, as we prepare to get racing in a few minutes. It's a 1 hour race, no pit stops, unless it rains. It doesn't seem to be looking like it will rain at this rate.
There's no rain predicted for the next 30 minutes at least.
So the cars are going through the final few corners right now. It's really the last chance for anyone to get some tyre temp up before we go. I'll prepare to line up 2 by 2. So, 1 corner to go, as everyone now will definitely be 2 by 2 now. No one on the back is just rushing to keep it up. There seems to be quite a gap forming. It's a fairly small grid compared to recent races, but hopefully we do get a good race out of all this. As we're now on the start-finish straight now, as we prepare to go racing as they cross the line very shortly. And we are green as we set off for round 3, and Thomas gets a very good start there. Everyone else makes their way down. Plenty of room there, so no one should be risking, as it does seem that will be able to get in front of Mike into turn 1. As Grant Smith seems to be under threat by Mark Whitford, it looks like, in on the BMWs there. As Mike Stoffel gets bogged down there. I don't know what quite happened there. As he seems to be with everyone else now in a little pack. As the order seems to have shuffled up quite a bit already. And the car gets pushed a bit wide.
And so a few people fallen pretty far behind the pack. Looks like Molliot and McRae have joined the race after all. But they've started from the pit lane.
So it's 3 wide going down towards one just now. It's all a bit of an early rush as they head into the end of the chicane now. There's a few cars running a bit wide. As there's a yellow flag out on track.
Lawrence and Grant Smith were side by side. It's like Grant Smith managed to take a position there. Jordan Wansink has retired to the pit lane.
You saw him.
What happened to him?
So I think I saw
He
him
was off the track. Yeah.
Ooh, Marcus Lawrence going for a move into the final corner. Does seem to have got in front of Grant Smith, but he'll be on the attack now, heading down to turn 1. Car still on this little slipstream train. Already a 2-second gap for Thomas Janssen up front.
Yeah, he's really seems to be having a lot of pace right now.
He had to get a very good start, and Mike Stoff was sort of bulked with everyone else very early on. And unfortunately has somewhat broken the slipstream already. Thomason's very quick in that first sector. Like, the gap went from 2 seconds to 2.4 seconds. That is quick. Just to say that. Right, so you're leading the train from P2 down towards Bladesville. One of the, I think that's Robert Nygaard at the back. Mawson's down in P7. Hasn't been able to really replicate his race 1 pole position in that race. As Grant Smith is still losing more positions, so it does seem the BMW is very strong around here. Very quick car in a straight line as Mawson's now under attack by the McLaren of Verstappen. Start lap 2. As the pack is slowly spreading out. The 2 Alpines of Nygaard Sebastian have been dropping back a bit. They seem to lack pace, and it's definitely a track which favours the cars with more top speed. Bollard's just flying across the track then. I might have knocked that. As there's quite a big gap behind Bounia. Not entirely sure what's going on there. As a few cars are overtaking the final corner, as big Mark Whitford's got in front of Mike Stoffmiller just now, so he's moved up to P2. Definitely seems like the Audi's struggling for top line speed here as well, so add that to the list of cars which don't seem to be particularly strong around here, especially in the race trim. That seems to be the falling apart of those two races. Grant Smith struggling. But Stoffmill also struggling as well. So, lap 3, and there's been a change for P2 as Lawrence is now looking behind, see if he can make a move up past Stoffmill. That's
Whitford. What's happened to him?
You get a bit of a lunge by like Stoffmill.
Yeah, and that's he collided with Whitford, and then he lost control of the car. That's Whitford back to P3. It looks like he's behind Marcus Lawrence now, with Stoffmill dropping down to 5th actually.
Yeah,
he's also been overtaken by John Dalton.
And now he's got the Porsche of Grant Smith behind him as well. Mawson's dropped down to P9 at some point. Olsen now behind, I believe it's Thomas Olsen. And Robert Nygaard's trying to hold his gap there as well, and the little Alpine trying his best to keep that gap close, with his teammate just behind him as well.
Top Jensen is 4.1 seconds ahead of Marcus Lawrence.
He's been helped out by a bit of a contact for Mark Whitford. It's helped him out a tiny bit there.
Yeah. It does seem like Jensen so far has the pace that he had shown in qualifying. Let's see if he can keep it going throughout the 51.5 minutes left.
He's the hardest car to keep that pace up with. Obviously, Maserati has no traction control or ABS. Because why would you need that in a GT car? Maserati obviously thought they didn't need it. This is probably quite lucky it's not raining, because if it was raining, he'd be in a somewhat worse situation, I feel like.
Ryan Mawson, going down the inside of Thomas Olsen. They are still going through there side by side. Olsen stays slightly ahead of now as Mawson goes off the track. They are both on the long straight now. Robert Nygaard right behind them as well. Let's see what happens into the next corner. So far we have just a bit of a drag race going. They are very close together. So will Mawson try to go down the inside here? It looks like he will. And he's going to try it again into the next corner. So they collide. And Mawson loses control of the car, drops down to 11th position behind Sebastian Brunier.
Watching again, that was going to happen at some point, I feel like.
Yep. Nygaard has also gotten ahead of Olsen. So Nygaard up to P8.
Mike Stoffel trying to fight back against the BMWs in the final corner there. Does get passed back. And again, Grant Smith, he's trying everything he can to try and get back in front, but it doesn't seem like it's going to be happening. As now Christopher Verstappen's on Grant Smith and does make the move into turn 1. Light flashing going on behind Grant Smith.
Yeah, Mawson trying to overtake Sebastian Brunier. They are side by side again. On the brakes. And does look like Olsen will get ahead there. Oh, sorry, Mawson will get ahead there. And Mawson back into P10.
Doesn't seem like Sebastian really has the pace right now. If he can try and get the slipstream from the Aston, he should be able to keep up with the pack ahead and capitalise for any mistakes that they make.
It's already falling quite far behind Mawson. 0.8 of a second.
There's a big gap in front of those as well from Mawson to the 2 cars ahead, well, as Olsen is also ahead of Nygaard again, so Aston does seem to be the quicker car around here right now. I think it's been quite a while since we've seen this disparity between cars in ACC, where some cars just clearly seem to struggle more than others. So the sun does seem to be peeking through the clouds right now. I see a bit of morning orange around the track now in certain spots. As Mawson's got a drive-through penalty. I believe that's probably for cutting the track a bit too much there.
Yeah, that does seem like the most likely cause, as he heads straight into the pits to serve that penalty.
It'll be annoying for him. Obviously, he's got quite a gap to the cars behind, so he might be able to get back in the tow of those lots, but that didn't effectively take him out of the race due to again, because the tow is so important around here, not having any is disastrous, it seems like. And it's Thomas Jansen, who is 5 seconds ahead of Marcus Lawrence. Does seem to be going very strongly there.
Yeah, Stoffman on P5 right now. That's very unexpected.
I mean, I think the last time he's been that low was like P4 one time. He qualified at Silverstone P4 and managed to get to P2 with lap 1. So it's very rare to see him that far down the order. Wanzig's back out on track again. I believe there's been a few cars that have gone off, have disconnected without me noticing. Definitely at least one car has gone.
Yeah.
Oh, life me it is. Just a bit further up the order is the fight currently for P2. Under a second between the two BMWs. If there was such a thing as a manufacturer's title for the series, BMW would probably be quite happy right now. So, as Mark Whitford gets a drive-through penalty. So I feel like that's going to be a running theme of this race at this point, given that there's been 2 cars that have it, and Mark Whitford doesn't seem to be able to catch a break, really.
Yeah, he's had a very rough time this season in both series.
Yeah, and that's going to drop him back quite a bit as there is. That's probably who's gone, I think.
Someone went off the track. That was Whitford, and he's retired.
So I think Mawson's also retired as well. So I think the two people who drive through penalties.
He's no longer in the server, it seems.
People who drive through penalties. So that means puts John Dalton up into P3, and that now means that Mike Stoffmill and Verstappen and Grant Smith, you can catch up to this pack, are fighting now for the last podium spots. As Verstappen is trying to run the outside of Mike Stoffmill just behind. Stoffmill manages to defend it. But the more these sort of fighting, the more chances John Dalton can get away from these lot. Sebastian Bruno's got quite a large gap now to Robert Nygaard, so he might have an issue as well at some point.
Yep, Nygaard's still pretty close to Olsen though. Grant Smith also pretty close to Verstappen, it seems, as there's quite a close fight from P4 to 6 right now. P3 to 6.
Yep.
Dalton is still in that pack as well. So hopefully we'll see some more interesting fighting through there throughout the rest of the race.
Yeah, it seems these guys are still very close together right now, despite the seems to be a slight advantage that the BMW does have around it. As Nygaard's managed to hold on to the back of Thomas Olsen as well.
Yeah, Mike Stoffmill hanging in there. It's right behind John Dalton. He's been there for a while.
Before doing anything, just need to stick in that toe of that car to have a chance. He's probably a bit quicker through the corners, it does seem like.
Yeah, well, they have very similar lap times. Just, quite different cars.
That's always the trap with Bob, especially in GT4, and you'll notice it in other sims, racing for example, where the cars be fairly close in lap time, but in actual race, some of them is uncompetitive because they lack top line speed or something, which by itself won't matter much, but when you're trying to race it, it's a deal breaker, and I feel that's a bit what's happening to some of the cars around here, such as the Alpine, and basically anything other than the BMW, as John Dalton is going to be a bit wide there on the exit.
Yeah, well, I imagine it's quite hard to balance the GT4 class because there's such a variety of cars and engines.
Yeah, it's difference between cars is even bigger than what's say in GT3, where the car to extent is.
Seems like Mike Stoffman wants to have a go at John Dalton. He's very close to the back of him now. He's going to try something on the inside here. Doesn't look like he's quite able to.
We'll get very close to a bit of a touch there. Just right behind us, we are watching the rear wing of John Dalton. He's watching us all. Oh, Mike Stoffman gets a bit of a lunge there. Cost him a bit of time.
Verstappen looking to get involved there as well. And if this slows Stoffmill down too much, that might cost him a position to Verstappen.
Yeah, definitely seems like Stoffmill is trying to use all his brakes he can right now, because he's gaining a lot of the time. braking a bit too deep into a corner at some point opens the door for an overtaking opportunity by the McLaren. The gap to the front is extended even further now, so it doesn't like Jensen particularly slowing down. Going down. Now at Nygaard seems to have lost the back of Thomas Olsen as well, so I feel like some of these gaps are starting to open up a tiny bit. Paddington Mollett is on the back of James Butler now, so this is for P at 10. Obviously, points are awarded to everyone who finishes essentially down to like P50 or something. The points go down to. It's something stupid like that. Like the points go down. Not like in F1, for example, where finishing P10 is the edge of the points. It's if you finish, you get a point.
Oh, Stuffmill side by side with Dalton again. And no, he has the back out again. As Verstappen really looking to get involved through there. But it's kind of the same story as last time they went through this sequence of corners.
It does seem like can't get quite close enough to maybe make a safe attack. And that is costing him a bit of time and a bit of opportunity right now, as you can see on the corners he gets fairly close indeed, but as soon as it comes to a straight line on exit, BMW's off. This full pack is once again covered, as Lawrence is making a bit of a getaway as well himself now. He's got a 6-second gap between him, so just in the fighting between these four is slowing them all down a bit.
Yep, yes. Jensen has a huge 7.6 second gap now.
That's quite the advantage as well, and he had a bit of advantage in qualifying, but I don't think we expect it to be that big of an advantage in the actual race. As that is quite a sizable advantage. It'd be quite hard for anyone to catch that back up.
Yep, as the person who we expected to be Thomas's main contender is down in P4, and he's been there for quite a while. Not able to really do anything against Sean Dalton. So yeah, seems like possibly the track maybe just doesn't suit his car. BMWs are doing really well. And Jensen doing really well in the Maserati. So no idea if that's because the Maserati is really good around this track, or if it's Jensen just being really good, or a combination of both.
Yeah, this has just got in front of James Butler, down for P10, as he started from the pit lane, so making a decent bit of progress. Making his way back up the field. sort of towards the back end of the field. There's Wanzig who's a few laps down as he's sort of, I believe, is driving now for points, but a bit of a race between the bottom end of the field as well. Yeah, I think it's very small field today has not really helped the race, because I think with a larger field this race would probably be a slipstream battle to the end of time, but
it is being a slipstream battle to the end of time between Stoffmill and Dalton, it seems.
Ooh. Dalton loses a bit of time there, but we'll have the inside line for the next corner. Stoffmill tries to cut down the inside for the next one. He is trying everything he can to get past. There's a bit of scruffy driving there by Dalton. Maybe a bit off line. And Stock might get the run now. Right up behind the back of the BMW, but doesn't seem to be gaining enough. You look now, it's on the onboard. Stock was forced to go the long way around. And there's just nothing you can do. There's a bit of contact as well, as luckily none of them spin out. Good bit of counter steering there by John Dalton.
Getting involved there as well, trying to outbrake back Stoffmill. Oh, that's a bit of a touch for them, and Stoffmill spins out.
So, yeah, what happened there? Just gonna watch now as he touches the back of. Yeah, he touches the back of Verstappen, and the car snaps out of him. He gets back going again. It's not been the. Ah, you got a drive through as well for that. Just in the track limits around here are fairly harsh. Like, you know, spinning out like that. I don't think that should be a drive-through. I don't know if the game can tell the difference between that or not.
Yeah, I mean, he won't have gained any time by spinning out like that.
Feels like...
lost a fair chunk of time, I'd say. It's about 5 seconds or something, though.
It's gonna leave
I don't know how the game would manage to count that as a cut. But it did, apparently.
Yeah. Is this going to be his one bad race this season? You know. And
I think it probably will be.
I mean,
of course, we never know what's going to happen in later races, but yeah, this is a very rare bad race for Stoffmill.
I mean, it's probably quite lucky to drop round because, you know, this round won't count.
That is true.
So if he cares with the championship standing, he's got.
That means he can't afford to make any more mistakes or be slow in any of the other races, as he heads into the pit lane now and nearly runs into the speed limit board. And let's see where he ends up when he leaves the pit lane now. Sounds like Sebastian Brunier just made his way past Stoffmill. And indeed, Stoffmill has dropped down to P9 behind Sebastian Brunier.
So if he needs some clear air, try and catch up. He's got to basically hope that everyone else in front of him gets into a big old conga line and starts fighting each other and slows everyone down. See if he can make something out of this race. So now the race for P3 is between Dalton, Verstappen and Grant Smith now. As the McLaren's reported to be quite quick in a straight line as well. He attempts to try and go around the outside of Dalton and has to brake a bit. He's somewhat going to have to go off the track if he does that. Verstappen is closed the gap already fairly quickly onto John Dalton. There's a bit of a worse exit out the final corner, as we are over halfway now of this race.
Track seems to be slightly warmer now than it was before, and no predictions in terms of the weather for the rest of the race. It should just stay as it is right now.
I don't think there's going to be much changing as the sky looks fairly clear now, as there's more sun hitting the track now.
So Verstappen right behind Dalton on the long straight right now. See if he can try anything into the next corner, moves to the outside.
I don't think you can really do that for Verstappen, unfortunately. I don't think you
Yeah,
can.
really wasn't close enough to try anything.
Maybe an F1 car may work, but I don't think in a GT4 car.
No, the brakes on a GT4 car are not quite good enough for that kind of a move.
John Smith is going to close the gap up as well, so...
Yep, Grant Smith right behind him.
This goes out as Verstappen is 2.3 seconds behind Sebastian Brunier.
Yeah, he should be catching up to Brunier pretty quickly. So yeah, things are a bit quiet right now. No regular pit stops either in GT4. The straight race to the end.
Yep. Grant Smith has dropped back again. And these are happening on the straights that the BMW and McLaren get away a bit, and then in the corners, the Porsche catch up again.
Yep, Verstappen looks to try around the outside again, but yeah, really can't do anything there. Pace seems to be so similar between these three right now.
Yeah, and they seem to get the pace from different parts of the track. Grant Smith needs to gain a lot of time back in the final part of the track. Dalton gains a lot of his on the straights, and Verstappen's a bit in between. The circus begins once again as we head on to lap 17. Let's head back onto the start-finish straight again. The two leaders seem to be racing their own. Mike Stuff was going in front of Sebastian Bruno, who didn't miss seeing that happen. So will Christian Verstappen be able to do it this time? See the time gained as Hill takes the defensive line. Will he do it this time as they're alongside each other going into the end of the straight? And Verstappen does make the move happen.
He runs wide there, hopefully that's not a penalty.
Yeah, as John Dalton's on the attack again and slips right in front of him again. Does seem that going wide there cost him quite a bit of time. Grand scheme of things, couldn't get the car positioned to how you would like it for the next corner.
Yep, and thus we are back the way we were.
Nothing's ever changed. Go around the outside. Can he get his nose down? If he can get his nose down early, he can have the inside line for the next corner. Because it's quite easy just to hold the defensive line. John Dalton proceeds to do that as Verstappen dives down the inside, just moves straight across the track. And does get in front once again. Good move there.
Very nice, clean move on the brakes into turn 1.
Yeah.
Well done, although John Dalton is going to try and get back at him right away. Seems to be later on the brakes there, but runs off the track.
I've seen that BMW's got some insane acceleration coming out of those corners because to be out of turn 2 with immediate attack back onto the McLaren as just hold against it for now. As they head down to the start finish straight once again, Grant Smith's hanging behind right now as well. Hugs the inside line as much as he can to try and break a bit of the toe. Bit of weaving going on as well. So easy to go wide to that corner. I don't think it does slow you down a bit, taking that line.
So just looking at Mike Stoffmill right now, he did gain half a second on Nygaard on the last lap. As Verstappen and Dalton were side by side again, but doesn't have to. Oh no, he's coming back down the inside.
He's going to switch back work this time on the start finish straight. I wish he's behind a bit, but forcing Verstappen a bit off the line there did cost him a bit of time. Helped him as he makes his way.
See if he can do anything into turn 1. Verstappen defends the inside. Yes, oh! Lose a lot of time through there. That's allowed John Dalton to get past. And may allow Jordan Grant Smith to get past as well. This happens into the next corner. As it looks like Dalton is back into P3.
A good bit of hard position going on there. Yeah, taking a bit of a wider line into turn 1, allowed them to get a better run through the corner, allowed them to make another attack at Verstappen again.
Back to briefly to what I was saying. Before all this happened, Stoffmill gained half a second on Nygaard, but he has quite a large gap to make up in the last 19 minutes of this race. So we'll see if he can get past Nygaard, but I wouldn't keep my hopes up, considering the 13.4 second gap between them. As Verstappen wants to have another go at Dalton. And runs wide again there.
I
Don't
think the
know
other
how
nice,
many times the game is going to let him get away with that.
it's one thing to note how much more momentum-based these GT4 cars are. It's getting a good run through the corner does seem to help a lot in terms of lap time and getting an overtake. You see some people taking a wide line in, end up in front because they're a faster exit speed. It seems a lot more momentum-based compared to the more high downforce GT3 cars. As Grant Smith is doing his best to hold on behind. He's not really being able to do much. He's sort of just has to linger and hope one of these guys makes a mistake, and he can make the move. But
yeah, these guys are all doing very similar pace right now. And yeah, Grant Smith just sort of hanging out behind there. As you can kind of see Thomas Olsen appearing behind him as well on the straight there. It looks like through all this fighting, Olsen is gaining on them, but he has quite a gap to make up. So I'm not sure he'll be able to do so with how little of the race is left.
you never know, these three might have a collision or something happen because of much hard fighting going on. It has to happen at some point. The more longer the race goes on for these guys, the more likely it's going to happen.
Yeah, so definitely worth it for Olsen to try and catch up to these guys just in case anything happens. And he might be able to profit from that.
Jensen approaching some lapped cars right now as he's maintaining his substantial lead.
Verstappen running very wide again at the same place he was last time. Seems like the sim is being forgiving of that so far.
It's that corner you can get away with.
Pulled that off a few times.
Yeah, much slower. The P3 to 6 are going by fighting each other. About 2 seconds off their fastest laps right now, so he's allowing other people to close the gap if Olsen can keep the pace up and start to close.
Seems like Olsen actually lost some time this lap.
So 15 minutes left to go. These three still seem fairly locked together. As Verstappen go down to the inside.
Oh! As Verstappen off into the barrier. What happened there?
Let's have a look back. So they're on the start finish right now. So Verstappen trying to stay behind. Closing, pulls out to the inside, has the inside line. Oh, just turns in a bit for the corner. And Dalton's just there.
Yeah, it really seems like he just stared into John Dalton. And he has retired from the race as a result of that.
That's a big impact, and yeah.
Guess he was maybe not expecting Dalton to be so close next to him. And he was trying to turn into the corner.
Quite possibly. I mean, he probably thought Dalton to jump to the outside line, possibly, or something like that. But whatever happened, his judgment was not the correct one. I don't. From just looking as a spectator, we have to put the blame there on Verstappen. Obviously, it feels like it was Dalton's fault. He's very welcome to report it. Doubt Dalton's going to report it, given the fact this car doesn't look like it's got any damage on it anyway. So now he's got to watch out for Grant Smith behind, who's closed the gap up again. And yeah, surprisingly for a track which has no real dangers outside of walls which are quite far apart, and had quite a high attrition rate.
Yeah.
You sort of think Paul Ricard, I think, oh, no one's going to have incidents there, and then...
You know, yeah, well, people always talk about Paul Ricard having so much runoff, but still the attrition rate seems to be quite high this race.
I mean, a few of those have been due to other aspects of the track, catching people out, such as the drive-through penalties and people...
Yeah, that is true.
There's been a few spinners and stuff as well, which have cost people time positions. As we are now 12 minutes to go. We're on lap 23.
Stossmil still closing the gap to Nygaard, but they're still 8.9 seconds behind. So I don't think he'll be able to really make up the gap there with how little time is left. Quite large gaps between people elsewhere too. Basically just a fight between Dalton and Grant Smith right now, as Jensen is leading by nearly 12 seconds over Marcus Lawrence.
A bit of Nürburgring towards the end there, where the gap there happened, but this has been all race now and quite slower cars as well, so the gap should be a bit less, but so far dominant performance by Janssen.
Jordan trying to close up on the long straight. Does seem like the BMW of Dalton is pulling ahead slightly, and despite being the car in front there.
It's not quite clear of ACC and how its netcode works. It does seem to... Oh, Dalton goes very deep there.
Oh, and that will have cost him the position, so Jordan Grant Smith moves to P3.
Can he hold on for it as he's got 10 minutes to go? Thomas Olsen is slowly closing that. He's still not really closing, it's about the same distance he was always. Just looks closer to the broadcast.
So what happened to John there? I guess he just tried to carry too much speed as... Oh, there's side by side again. Jordan looks like he is going to be losing the position, unfortunately, on the straight.
Yeah, he doesn't get slow exit. I don't know if a bit of netcode lag was going on there. He just seemed to all over the place, at least on my end anyway.
And so, whatever happened there, the fight for P3 goes on.
It does seem to might be slowing down.
And so what does Jordan do there? He just steered himself off the track on the straight.
Might be trying to say something in chat or pick something or something. So that he's sort of lost either that or the wheel disconnects or something. He didn't violently shaking the wall. I'm not entirely sure. But he has made the gap now open for himself and John Dalton. Well, Kazant's holding P2 right now after surprisingly holding P2. I think a lot of people around him had issues and stuff, which did help him a bit, but he's just holding that position right now. He managed to make a gap from John Dalton behind.
Yep, obviously Mark Whitford unfortunately retiring from the race after getting involved in an incident and then getting a penalty as well.
Yeah, currently Thomas Jansson's clear out in front right now. For his debut in GT4 Series. Doing quite well. Grant Smith lost quite a bit more time to John Dalton last lap as well, so it doesn't see the lacking pace now, and Thomas Olsen is closing the gap now to him as well, so
Yeah, Thomas Olsen is right behind Jordan Grant Smith. Well, not right behind as in able to overtake, but he's just over 2 seconds behind now, which is a lot closer than he was before. There's just under 6 minutes left in the race. And let's see if Olsen can still pull something off. Though, given the size of the gap and how little time is left, it will take quite some fast driving.
either that or a mistake by Grant Smith,
mistake by Jordan would also do it.
He just seems to be losing a lot of time now, especially at that slipstream as well. As that lap was, what, 1 second slower than it's optimal.
Also, gaining a few tenths there. More than a few tenths actually, 6 tenths. So yeah, Olsen could still do something if he keeps up this pace, although it will be close.
Minutes to go. That's along now. Out what? 2 more laps? 3 more laps?
Just a few more.
2 more laps.
Janssen is getting towards the end of this lap. Going on the final corner now. So I guess it will be 2 more laps for him.
Yeah. Smith has another slowish lap. It seems like he's definitely nowhere near his optimal time, and Thomas Olsen is definitely closing that gap. Some people got that was a bit weird by Grant Smith.
Mark Webb and Thijs Dendo are very close together right now as well.
Well, Thomas Olsen right on behind. So 2 minutes to go, and probably going to show us in the final lap now, depending where Thomas Janssen is.
Janssen is in the final sector now. Looks like he's coming right up to the last corner. Going out there now to start the final lap, as he has a 14.7 second lead on Marcus Lawrence in P2. So he's definitely dominating this race.
Yeah, as Grant Smith is under threat now from Thomas Olsen, who has closed that gap. Stoffmill's got in front of Robert Nygaard as well over the last few laps as well. So it's all coming towards the end here. Stoffmill managed to get back into P6. Just up the road, about 11 seconds up the road is these two.
Mark Webb and Thijs Dendo also still fighting together at the back of the field.
All getting a bit close now towards the end here. Smith gets a good exit there. Not quite enough to break the toe. Janssen's on, just gone at the end of the start-finish straight as you've got the last sector to do. Grant Smith is breaking the gap a bit now to Thomas Olsen. After the final corner. As the checkered flag will be waiting now at the start-finish line as the clock has hit 0.
Janssen heads around the final corner, and the checkered flag is waving for him to take P1, take the win for this race.
Round 3 of GT4 Series and his debut of the series, he's won. As Marcus Lawrence will be next across the line. P2 as Mark Webb and Dendo have also crossed the line their race. Coming to an end.
Yep, so it looks like Dendo stayed ahead there. John Dalton also just coming on the final corner to take P3, our final podium position for this race. Grant Smith and Olsen following right behind. So Grant Smith finishing in P4 and Olsen in P5. Mike Stoffmill, disappointingly for him, finishing in P6 in front of Robert Nygaard in P7. And then a while later will be Sebastian Brunier. So Bernier just heading into the final corner. And he will take P8. Right behind his teammates. Those two from Baguette Box Racing. Taking P7 and P8 this race. Quentin Molliot finishes in P9. And then James Butler will be last to cross the line in P10. So everyone behind him has already crossed the checkered flag.
That
And
is...
those are our final results.
Yeah, that is the final result. Thomas Janssen takes the win. Yeah, dominant performance by him. Did help a bit. His rivals all had sort of issues, but it does seem that the BMW was the strongest car out today. And yeah, Mike Stoffel had a bit of a disaster of a race. Got bogged down fairly early on, and obviously had a bit of contact earlier. Mark Whitfield unfortunately had a quick end to his race as well. So Verstappen as well, with that collision on the last few laps. So yeah, that is round 3, everyone. Hope everyone out there enjoyed the race.
Yep, so if you enjoyed it, please click the like button. We would really appreciate that. And subscribe to the channel if you'd like to see our future races. So next week we will have the GT3 series at Bathurst, so that could be very interesting. And then in 2 weeks time the GT4 series will return at Brands Hatch, so subscribe if you'd like to see that.
Yeah, and we'll see you next time.
Goodbye.